Okay, we're going to take the standard on completing the square. There's only 3 problems, 2 on the front, 1 on the back, but that means you got to be precise in how you do it if you expect to get a mastery. Okay, it's not very long. And you have this little sheet that helps you out. But it's not really going to help you out on the first problem because find the value for C that completes the square. Now let me explain what that means. Cross out C. You need to find the number that goes there. Now, don't write this down, just watch. Let's say I have x second minus 6x plus 9, and I'm expected to factor that. So it's 3 terms, so it'd be the GCF-T. GCF is just 1, so nothing happened in there. And I take A times C, 1 times 9. That'd be positive 9, so sum of 6. 1 and 9 is not a sum of 6. 2 is a decimal, and 9 divided by 3 is 3, and that does make 6, okay? So they have to come out to negative 6, so one of the 3's is at least negative, and it's a sum, so they're the same. A equals 1, x to the second. So if A is 1, we just need to make 2 parentheses. Don't need to lead off with a number. X minus 3 minus 3. Now what do you notice? They're the same factor, so you write that as a binomial squared. Now the whole point of completing the square is to come up with a C number where I'm able to write a binomial squared. And you have to know the formula for it. And C is equal to B over 2 to the second power. So if you were to label that ABC, what would the B be? It'd be 14. So it would be 14 divided by 2 to the second power. Well, 14 divided by 2, what's that equal? 7 to the second. And 7 times itself is 49. So just put a 49 there, and that problem is done. Okay, now convert the equation from standard form to vertex form. Now remember, vertex form has a parentheses to the second. It's a binomial squared, okay? Now there's a process which you can use this sheet for. So you got y equals listed out 3 times because it's a 3-step process. First, make a parentheses and kick the C term out behind. And this is the first y equals. All this stuff here is for the first y equals. It's kind of the hardest step, okay? So make a parentheses, kick the plus 10 out. Make sure the x squared has a 1 in front. Well, it has a 1 in front. If not, you need to divide both a and b terms by the a coefficient and kick the dividing factor in front. But that's irrelevant on this problem because the a was already 1. Okay, so I just put 1x squared minus 6x plus blank. Okay. Use the b divided by 2 squared formula to find the new c. So okay, so the b here is going to be this negative 6, but I'm just going to use 6. So 6 divided by 2 to the second power. And 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 to the second power would be 9. So I put 9 in, so I got my new c. That's your a. Cancel the value you just brought in at the end of the equation. So I brought in a value of 9. Now, is there anything outside multiplying this parentheses? No. So I need to cancel the plus 9 by minusing 9. That's the first step. Next step, factor your new trinomial with the t-chart. You should be able to come up with identical factors. Whenever you find a c value using this formula, you should. So t-chart. And a times c, that'd be 1 times 9. So 9 positive, sum of 6. And what number times itself is 9? Remember I said you should be able to come up with this identical factors. That means there's got to be a number times itself that's 9. Well, 3. And is 3 and 3 add to 6? You bet. Now we need the signs. My b is -6, so one of the 3's has to be negative, and since it's a sum, they're both negative. Okay. Now what I'm able to do is convert that then into 2 parentheses. It's 1, so it's just x and x, and then -3, -3. And then 10 minus 9 is 1, so +1. And the last thing, write a binomial squared, and booyah, you just write that as x minus 3 quantity squared plus 1. Answer. Takes you right to the answer. Remember, finding the c, b over 2 squared. And then this, follow this, okay? All right, my last one. Same thing. Make a parentheses, kick the c term out behind. Kick -13 out. Make sure the x squared has a 1 in front. If not, does it have a 1 in front? No, it has a 4. So if not, you need to divide both a and b terms by the a coefficient and kick the dividing factor out in the front. So we need to divide both of these by 4. Because that's a. I want a 1 there. And then it says, kick the dividing factor in front. So that means that 4, kick him out to the front. And we get 1x to the second plus 6x plus blank. Okay. Use b over 2 to the second to find a new c value. So b over 2 to the second power. So my b here looks like it's 6. Okay. You want to take the b from here, not from here, because you had to divide down. So 6 divided by 2 to the second, that's 3 to the second, and that's 9. Cancel the value you just brought in at the end of the equation. Now I brought in 9, but 9 is being multiplied by 4. And 9 times 4 is positive 36. So to cancel positive 36, we need to minus 36. Okay, on to the second step. Factor your new trinomial with the t-chart. You should be able to come up with identical factors. So t, and that's a, and that's c. Okay, so 1 times 9, a times c, that's 9, positive. So you're looking for a sum that equals our b coefficient of 6. And that would be 3 times 3. Those add up to 6. They're also factors in 9. And the 6 is plus, so one of the 3's is plus, and since we're finding a sum, they're both plus. So we need to drop the 4. We need to make this trinomial into 2 binomial parentheses. And it's 1x squared, so just x and x. And then plus 3, plus 3. And out here, negative 13 minus 36 would be negative 49. And then last, write a binomial squared, and booyah. 4 parentheses x plus 3 to the second power minus 49. Okay, so remember, read through that. If you have any questions, let me know.